My boyfriend said nothing had changed. My mother said she only wanted what was best for me. But both of them made me feel like my life only belonged to me when they approved of it. I'm 26. My boyfriend Caleb is 29. We have been together for a little over a year. At the beginning, he was the calmest person I had ever dated. Steady, gentle, patient. He made me feel like I could breathe. That mattered because my home life has never been peaceful. I still live with my mother while I finish my certification program and work part-time. I know that sounds like I should be grateful, and I am in some ways. But living with her has always come with invisible strings. She helps, then reminds me. She gives advice, then expects obedience. She says she is worried, then uses worry like a leash. For years, I thought that was just how families worked. Then Caleb came along and felt like the opposite, at least at first. For the first few months, he texted constantly. Good morning messages, long calls at night, random pictures from work, little voice notes saying he missed me. He told me I was the first person who made him feel understood. He said I made his life softer. I believed him. Then something shifted. It was not one dramatic moment. It was distance, a little less warmth, shorter replies, plans that became vague, calls that ended because he was tired. If I asked whether anything was wrong, he said no. If I asked why he seemed different, he said I was overthinking. If I got upset, he disappeared for a day or two. Then he came back loving again. And every time he came back, I felt grateful instead of angry. That is the part I hate admitting. Meanwhile, my mother hated my new job. I started coaching children at a small sports program after losing my previous office job. It was not glamorous. The hours were strange. The pay was uneven. I had to drive to different locations. But I liked it. For the first time in months, I felt useful without feeling trapped. My mother called it embarrassing. She said, "You didn't study this long to chase kids around a field." I said, "It's a real job." She said, "It's a distraction." What she meant was that my schedule was harder for her to control. Caleb did not like the job either, not openly at first. He just started asking little questions. Who works with you? Are there male coaches? Why did your shift end late? Why didn't you answer during practice? I would explain. Then he would say, "I'm not accusing you. I just want to understand." But it always felt like an accusation with softer packaging. One Friday, I got home exhausted after coaching back-to-back sessions. My mother was waiting in the kitchen. She had taken pictures of my bedroom, laundry on the floor, books stacked everywhere, a half-packed bag near the closet. It looked bad. I know that. I had been depressed and overwhelmed. But instead of asking if I was okay, she held up her phone and said, "If your employer saw this, they would understand what kind of person they hired." I just stared at her. She said she was trying to motivate me. I said, "You're threatening my job." She said, "I'm trying to save you from humiliating yourself." I said, "No, you're trying to scare me into doing what you want." That night I called Caleb. I thought he would understand. Instead, he got quiet. Then he said, "Why was your room that messy?" I remember feeling something sink inside me. Not because the question was unfair, because it was the first thing he chose. Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "That was cruel. Just another inspection." I said, "That's what you took from this?" He said, "I'm not attacking you. I just think maybe she has a point about the job stressing you out." I said, "She threatened to send pictures to my employer." He said, "Maybe she's worried you're not handling things." That was the first time I heard my mother's voice coming out of him. The next week, Caleb pulled away again. 3 days of barely responding. When he came back, he acted sweet. He said he missed me. He said he loved me. He said he just needed space because conflict overwhelms him. I asked, "Do you actually need space, or do you punish me with silence until I stop asking questions?" He sounded hurt. He said, "That's not fair." I said, "Neither is making me feel crazy every time I notice you changing." He told me I was creating problems. My mother told me I was creating problems. Different people, same message. If I reacted to being hurt, I was dramatic. If I asked for clarity, I was insecure. If I wanted independence, I was ungrateful. For a while, I believed them. That is how tired I was. The turning point came during a family dinner. My mother invited Caleb without asking me. She said it would be nice for everyone to talk. I should have known better. Halfway through dinner, she started talking about my job again. She said, "Caleb agrees that you need something stable." Caleb looked uncomfortable but did not deny it. I asked him, "You said that to her?" He said, "We talked a little." I said, "About me?" He said, "She's worried." My mother smiled like she had won. She said, "See? People who love you are telling you the same thing." Something in me went cold, because it was not love. It was coordination. I asked Caleb, "Did you also tell her I'm too emotional when I ask why you disappear?" He did not answer fast enough. That was answer enough. I stood up from the table. My mother said, "Sit down, don't make a scene." I said, "You made the scene when you invited my boyfriend to help manage me." Caleb said, "That's not what this is." I said, "Then what is it?" No one answered. After dinner, Caleb followed me outside. He said he was sorry if I felt ambushed. I said, "You're sorry if I felt ambushed, or you're sorry you helped ambush me?" He rubbed his face and said, "I just don't know how to deal with your intensity sometimes." That line hurt more than I expected, because my intensity was usually just me asking people to stop controlling me. I asked him one question. "Do you love me, or do you love me best when I'm easy?" He said, "That's a loaded question." I said, "No, it's the whole relationship." He told me he needed time to think. I said, "Of course you do." Then I went back inside, packed a bag, and drove to my friend Mara's apartment. My mother called me 16 times. Caleb texted once. Just once. "I don't want to fight." That was when I realized we had different definitions of peace. For him, peace meant silence. For my mother, peace meant obedience. For me, peace had to mean being allowed to exist without constant monitoring. Update 1. I stayed with Mara for a week. The first 2 days, I slept more than I had slept in months. No one checked my room. No one asked why I smiled at my phone. No one turned my schedule into evidence. I did not feel happy exactly, but I felt unobserved. That was new. Update 2. Caleb and I talked. He admitted he had been pulling away. He said he loved me, but my need for reassurance made him feel pressured. I admitted I had become insecure. Because I had, but I also told him my insecurity did not appear from nowhere. I said, "You disappear, then come back loving, then act confused when I don't feel safe." He said he never meant to hurt me. I said, "I believe that, but I am still hurt." Update 3. My mother sent a long message saying I embarrassed her and made Caleb uncomfortable. She said, "You are pushing away the people who care about you." I replied, "No, I am stepping away from people who confuse care with control." She has not answered. For once, that silence feels like relief. I do not know if Caleb and I will stay together. Part of me still loves him. Part of me misses the version of him from the beginning. But I'm starting to understand that someone can love you and still be unsafe for your nervous system. Someone can say the right words and still make you feel alone. I do not want to be loved only when I am quiet, agreeable, and easy to manage. And I do not want a relationship that feels like another room I am being watched inside. Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I need better boundaries. Maybe both are true. But I know this now. If love only feels peaceful when I stop asking for basic respect, then it was never really peace. It was control with a softer voice.